I'm Richard Cartwright and this is Golf Swing Analysis. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my own experiences as a golf pro and what I'm trying to work on in my own swing. Now, to be honest with you, I don't tend to have that much time to play golf these days. I tend to be teaching from sort of 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning all the way through to 8 o'clock. So with a young family as well, golf is a little bit on the back burner, playing golf in particular. I used to play quite a bit when I was a bit younger, when I first sort of turned pro as well. I loved it, absolutely, I still do. Still love going out there, still love playing, but teaching is my life. But it's still important to ensure that we keep up to date with sort of modern day teachings, modern day swing as well. But I just want to go through a few things, because I know I've had a few requests from people as well to talk to you about how I swing the golf club and what I do to help me hit the golf ball better. Here's a few things that I'm working on at the moment. I'm really mostly working, I posted a video on social media not so long ago about my driver swing, and it was really quite flat and rounded. That's always how I've usually tended to swing. I've always tended to play a bit of a draw. I'm sort of one of the lucky ones for all you slicers out there. I'm one of the lucky ones who tend to play a draw. But the problem is that could easily turn into a block or a big hook, and it usually did, especially when I was playing my worst golf. I didn't know where on earth the ball was going. It's a little bit right, a little bit left. So what I've tried to do lately is try to ensure my left shoulder is going down that little bit more. If you saw a video I posted a couple of weeks or so ago, an amateur gent, a good player, but he tended to lift that left shoulder up, but he rerouted the club back down on a pretty good playing. I didn't. I used to get the club really stuck behind, and the problem is the path goes more out to the right, and I had to really adjust the face to make sure the face matched the path. When it did, I had some lovely draws, but when it didn't, it either, as I say, was a big block or a big hook as well. So what I'm trying to do to really combat that is making sure my left shoulder is going down, so we're maintaining our tilt. We start off in the tilt, and we have to make sure we end up in a tilt on the way back in our back, at the top of our backswing. A lot of people say, hang on, you shouldn't be dropping your head necessarily. Well, that's just a byproduct. Those shoulders tilting make the head go down slightly, so that's not a problem at all. That head goes slightly down. You look at Paul Casey, for example. That head, when you see his backswing, that head is going, if anything, slightly down, because his left shoulder is going down to the ground as well. There was a classic example of Tiger Woods a few years ago when he was playing some really, really poor golf. A lot of people said he was dipping into the golf ball, his head was going dramatically down. It was, but it wasn't because he was dipping down. He was dipping down and getting the club behind him because there was too much side bend on the way down. A slightly different issue, but very similar to regards to feeling the tilts as opposed to more of that side bend. So he was getting just a bit too much side bend on the way down, getting the club behind and stuff. And again, he had that two-way miss, which is so destructive. Those of you who hit the ball left and right, it is so destructive. My mantra in this game is to make sure your bad shots are better. And if you can accomplish that title, bad shots better, this game is going to be a lot easier for you. Your bad shots are going to be more predictable, because when you've got that two-way miss, the two-way miss is not predictable at all. One right, one left. It doesn't feel like you've done anything different, but you've missed it both ways. And that is absolutely, that's so destructive. Those of you especially trying to break 100, just trying to make sure you're getting rid of those really destructive shots as well. So what I'm trying to do, and hopefully this might help a few of you out there as well, we need to feel that left shoulder ideally going down, okay, to maintain the tilt. Because ideally, we want to make sure those shoulders are running the show and not just the hands and the arms. If we do that, we've lost control of the sweet spot, we've lost control of that lie angle, and really importantly, we've lost control of that face as well. What I also feel I'm trying to do is just try and gain a few more miles per hour of club head speed, just to add a little bit more distance as well. trying to do that by mainly one way, and that is trying to get the feeling I'm just turning my hips that few degrees more. Again, I'm trying to just straighten that right leg to allow for that right hip to turn around, to widen my hand path arc, widen my club head arc, so I can just generate a little bit more speed. So many golfers try and really maintain and keep the flex in their right knee. In fact, there was a book written not so long ago called The X Factor. Even in that book, that's now been unfortunately disproved. They tried to talk about the difference between the shoulder turn and the hip turn. And that was the X Factor, the difference between how much the shoulders were turning, how much the hips were turning. They claim that the more you turn your shoulders against the resistance of the hips, the more speed that will generate. That's not true. What is true is when we try and get that feeling, we turn the hips more and allow that right leg just to straighten, not lock out, but just straighten, will generate more arc, more width, and therefore we can generate more speed on the way down. Just feels a lot looser on the way back, and therefore freer on the way through as well, to really help generate that little bit of extra club speed as well. I hope this helps anyone. I hope you enjoyed a little insight into my golf as well. Please comment, hit that like button, agree or disagree. And I look forward to speaking to you soon.